San Antonio's win coming thanks in large part to a large man, Victor Wembanyama, who put on a show, dropping 41 points and grabbing 24 rebounds, also becoming the youngest player in NBA playoff history with a 40-20 game, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He also joins Wilt Chamberlain as the only players with a 40-20 game in his conference or divisional finals debut. NBA analyst Iman Shumpert with us now. Shumpert, what will you remember about Wemby's performance last night?
I think the way he accepted the challenge. He had to sit there and watch SGA hoist up an MVP trophy, and I don't think he liked it too much. He didn't come out and decide that he was going to influence the game scoring right away, but he dominated the boards. He was in the right place at the right time. He altered shots around the basket. He searched for matchup problems. He set screens. He set back screens. He did a little bit of everything to let this game come to him before he eliminated all available options and said, you know what, now I'm just going to score the basketball. And there was nothing OKC could do. They tried a number of different defenders on him. None of that worked, but I think he did a great job of being patient for the moment rather than forcing the issue.
All right, let's talk about OKC. They lose for the first time this postseason. They had been 8-0. Guard Cason Wallace and head coach Mark Daigneault speaking earlier. This is new on SportsCenter. Check them out.
I feel like we started off slow, so being able to put a whole game together would be crucial for us. We obviously course-corrected in the second half, got it much closer, so just knowing that it's going to be a fight, we got to be able to throw punches as well as take punches.
In these series, you know, one of the things you got to do is you got to figure out what the problems are, and you got to put the fires out pretty quickly. And so that's our challenge, and we got to work on that with the team today. We'll continue to work on it tomorrow, and then we'll throw our best pitch tomorrow night.
Let's talk about that challenge. SGA was a minus 15. He shot 7 of 23 from the field. If you're in his shoes and watching film of this game this morning, what adjustment does he need to make moving forward?
Getting the short shots. I think that SGA did a little bit of searching for the whistle when he wasn't shooting the ball well. He played into a lot of contact, and I think he's just got to continue to play in space, continue to try and get those defenders off of him, but create matchups and problems to where he sees a bunch of floor space. I think yesterday he did a lot of dribbling, 1-2 dribbles to the corner, and had other guys in that strong side corner not giving him enough room to get shots off comfortably. I think he needs to see a couple go down before he starts getting dangerous with it. And he also needs to be able to finish with the dribble all the way at the rim. The Spurs have done a great job of picking him up early, providing a bunch of pressure to make it late in the shot clock. But if he continues to exhaust the dribble and get to the basket through contact, you can't look for fouls, but he's going to have to finish around the rim.
All right, let's set the West aside for a second and get to the East Finals. Game 1 between Knicks and Cavs tipping off tonight.
What's up, my guys?
Whoa, where are you? Where are you at?
It's ESPN, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you a little shout out. ESPN, baby.
I appreciate you putting that in there behind you for us. Thank you for doing that. You're the man, Iman. Okay, last night we started the show by saying if Adam Silver was to create a Western Conference Game 1 in a lab, it would be last night. Just what's your takeaway, and what is the conversation about the state of basketball with these two teams in the West, just strictly, but Wemby for the next 10 years of this? Is this where we're looking at? What a special night for hoops it felt like, Iman.
Yeah, again, this is the matchup that we were all promised as basketball fans. The teams don't seem to like each other. There's chips on shoulders. I don't think Wemby liked seeing SGA hoist up his second MVP trophy. I don't think Wemby took well to them putting Caruso on him toward the end of the game to be an answer. Everything about this matchup, Stephon Castle getting the dunk and staring SGA down, everything about it entices the NBA to, one, play harder. But for that 48 minutes that we all talk about, we want them to hate each other. They gave us that. You know what I'm saying? And as basketball fans, I think we're all sitting here with a smile. OKC just now has to, they're going to have to go into they're going to have to take care of home court next game, but they're definitely going to have to go into San Antonio and steal one. So we're going to see what they're made of.
Perkins said something hilarious last night about sending his kids to them monks. Okay, him and his wife were talking about sending his kids to them monks because he would like to know whatever the hell they said to Wemby. But he just seems like a different creature out there, AJ. Go ahead, pal.
Yeah, he does. And Shump, I'm wondering, what is this OKC team going to do, I guess, defensively, you think, in Game 2? Are they going to switch it up? Are we going to see Chet on Wemby? Like, what are they going to do?
Oh, we better. We better see Chet guard Wemby. I'm not sure why Chet wasn't guarding Wemby. I'm not sure why when the overtimes came, Chet didn't look at his coach and say, hey, man, I love you to death. I get the game plan. That's my matchup. At some point, you got to take the challenge because you saw in Wemby's eyes what he was going to do to the game. He was going to impose his will on the game. He was going to make it almost personal at the end. And to see that and see Chet keep having to come off the weak side, I thought he put himself at a disadvantage.
He had like 7 of the 10 points in I forget what. There was something he did.
OT.
He just absolutely took over. There was a time late in that game where I thought plus 6.5 we weren't going to cover. Okay, there was a little bit of a.
Normally, where dogs go to dime.
It was I was very scared as we were going there, and then it turns out 7-point win for San Antonio. It's like every narrative that could potentially happen, or every collapse that could have taken place, or Wemby played good, but in the end, the championship pedigree of Oklahoma City won out at the end. Like, who's going to make shots down the stretch? It's like this Spurs team answered every single time. It was spectacular. And their average age, I guess, 22 and a half. They're like the youngest in a long time. Your thoughts on that, Iman? Is that just an old soul crew down there because they've been through so much? Do you think the age thing does matter whenever you get to a certain point?
You know, I did think that there was a time in this game that I was going to have to say, wow, this is the part where experience takes over. It was the time at the end when they had to tie the bucket and SGA brought the ball to the left side of the floor off of an Iverson-like cut and then left Wemby in the corner to have to make the decision on would it be a 3 or a layup that they would take. Wemby stayed in the corner, and I felt that they had figured out some sort of tilt to keep Wemby at bay, to say you have to make a decision. You are no longer allowed to play defense and roam. He likes to play rover a lot of times where he's not really guarding anybody. He's guarding everybody. Anybody that comes in his vicinity and anybody that's left open, he does a late contest on, with it being a high contest. I thought OKC finally pinpointed it and left him in the corner, and to see the Spurs take the challenge and just pressure defensively, get stops, get rebounds at the end, because a lot of those rebounds just got loose. It was a lot of 50-50 balls. They got all of those. I can't really point the finger at their age anymore. I think these are just ballers. These are guys that want to take the challenge, and they're guys that really don't care that they have the MVP over there. I can't stress that enough, that when I look at Castle, I look at why can't I think of my other one? Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper going out there. I just don't see guys that, I don't want to say they're disrespecting them, but they don't respect it enough to lay down. They're saying, you're going to have to come beat us. We have the advantage over here. And anytime you believe that, again, to win, it takes a little bit of delusion. They have it.
Yeah, and it felt like through the season they had it as well. You know, it was like the New England Patriots having to go up to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. You lost the game before you even got there. The coaches did, players did, somebody did. And for this team, Spurs team, it feels like they're pissed off that people view Oklahoma City like that, as opposed to them. I love it, man.
Yeah.
And
I love too. We don't talk enough about just the Spurs organization in general. The Spurs have been a great organization for a really long time. You saying the Patriots really made me think of that and hone in on it. Having Pop around that culture, I know their coach is a winning coach, but to have somebody like Pop, a real pillar in this basketball world, to be able to lend advice, to be able to give guys encouragement and move the needle along while the playoffs are going, to have them prepared for these type of moments and these type of situations. You are seeing counter punches being thrown by, they seem like veteran guards. It seems like Wemby is a veteran, but I think a lot of it is the coaching, the poise, the winning culture that's around, having Tim Duncan to lean on, having David Robinson around to lean on, being able to have those conversations calls for a winning mentality.
Coach Mitch Johnson leading the squad down there, and obviously Dag over there in Oklahoma City. It has been, it was high-level basketball. It was fun to watch. That felt like Game 7 of the finals.
Oh, yeah.
Right there in the Western Conference. And obviously, they were playing without a guy that we know. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Shump, no De'Aaron Fox. So that kind of almost helped them, because it gives all these other guys, the young dudes that we're talking about, more confidence, more time to kind of get settled in the conference finals. What is your read on that? And do you think adding De'Aaron Fox will be kind of simple? Offense can do exactly what they just did, or do you think that will change things up a bit, just because the depth of OKC is incredible, and that does seem to be a huge advantage for them, especially if each one of these games is going to go to double, triple, who knows, quadruple overtime?
Well, if I'm OKC and I know that we just lost without them having De'Aaron Fox, I am scared to death. I don't think that it was one of those things where you say maybe it worked out in our favor. If you're the Spurs, saying it worked out in our favor that De'Aaron didn't play, it's like, no, they have been a three-headed monster this whole time. Sometimes it's two of them that get off. Sometimes all of them get off. Sometimes it's one of them that comes up big. It doesn't really matter. They rotate. They all play different speeds, and they all do different things. I think that yeah, you had Dylan Harper in more of a rhythm, but De'Aaron Fox coming back does not change things. It just forces now Dylan Harper to attack your second group, which is supposed to be OKC's better group. But if Dylan Harper now comes off the bench to attack that group, it's like, when do you get a break and a little bit of time off to get your breath together, to get your bearings together to actually deal with Wemby?
I'll tell you what, I'm excited to deal with Wemby for the next.
A hell of a ball club they put together.
They got Harper.
They changed the rules because of this ball club. I think.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not doing this stacked ones up again. We're not doing it. Look what they got down in San Antonio, and they'll be able to pay him more because they're all from there, right?
Yeah. Oh, and like the Duncan old school thing, like they all stayed together when like Manu, Tony, and him probably could have split up. So if there's any place where all those guys will stay and take less money, it's the Spurs.
And it feels like Wemby clear star, but he's super humble.
Yeah.
So everybody else around him is not going to grow to resent him, which could potentially happen in some.
Saw that clip?
This picture?
The whole sideline kind of looking posed like that.
Yeah, the boys gassing him up. Hey, we're on the Wemby jet, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go.
That's always nice, dog. It's always nice to see teammates stamp it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, we talked about it as just outsiders, non-hoopers. When Wemby got to San Antonio, this is awesome. This is gas the boy up, man.
Oh, my God.
Gas up the jet.
Kelly Olynyk pointing at him.
Yeah, so Tom McMahon was a special teams coach for me at the Indianapolis Colts. He went on to the Raiders. I don't think he's there anymore. He's at the Broncos, whatever the case. Growing up, he grew up on a horse farm, okay? And he had an entire mentality that shaped from his horse farm. He said, basically, my only job as a kid was to feed the stud, okay? Just make sure this guy, okay, the one that we need here, is happy. So his entire narrative is, if we have a stud returner, let's do everything we can to make this guy good. Vinatieri, hey, let's just feed the stud here. Let's just get this out of the way. San Antonio has gotten to the point where it's like, hey, let's feed the stud here. Let's let Wemby kind of be the guy. Because when he first got there, kind of OG's around. He's going to have to prove that he can make it in the NBA. It's crazy when an organization just decides, like, hey, we're going to go, and what that can do for a guy. Like what that can do for Wemby as he knows that this is my team. We go as I go, and the boys are all in. That's huge for the vibes. Huge for the vibes.
And when those guys can feed the stud, and then you still have every other starter scoring in double figures, and you have a couple guys scoring 20, like, yeah, you're going to be tough to beat if you can continue that.
Yeah, that's a bunker mentality, it seems like they got, with Alien leading the entire way. Okay, let's go to the other series, obviously, in the East that's going to be tipping off this evening. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, it seems like the Knicks kind of have a bunker mentality, too. They tap